Please put your hands together and welcome to the stage the hilarious antics of Sidekick!
You know, all these experiences, I don't know if they've left me a little traumatized, a little paranoid, or I don't know, a little crazy, if you want to call it, but all I think about is poop lately. I mean, always. I'm always thinking about poop. For instance, yeah, I know, it sounds crazy. For instance, I still measure myself off of what kind of quality material is coming out. Don't you? I got toilet paper issues coming out of my ears, If I had to see a therapist, that's all I talk about is toilet paper. That's what I'm talking about, toilet paper with you, because I have dreams, I have nightmares. This is the way that it was when I was growing up, let me tell you. Friends coming over, it was bad enough when my friends came over and they were like, "Man, you got no toilet paper in your bathroom?" And I was like, "Hey, I'm sorry, we must have run out. Look in the bottom drawer. There's nothing here. Hey, I can't help you if you're blind." And my friends would be knocking at the door, something like that. "Hey, come on, homie, help me get me some toilet paper or something." That was bad enough. I can't imagine my poor aunts. They were 20 and 21 in the dating scene. Can you imagine this? Now, my mother was a Nazi back then. She was the toilet paper Nazi, toilet paper queen. So she expected everybody to already understand the rules of the toilet paper scene. In our house, there's no toilet paper, but you're going to use some alternatives. If you could imagine the embarrassment of my aunts. Imagine, you're on a date and you bring the date home. Hey, you want to come to my house for some tea, some soda pop, whatever the young people do these days. And so, the guys are like, "Yeah, let's go over." And then can you imagine them over at their house and they're like listening to whatever, or they're watching TV and, you're the guy and you're like, "Excuse me, can I use your bathroom for a second?" "Oh yeah, my aunt's over here." "Of course, you can use the bathroom. Just go right over there and, just use it." And then, the guy's, "Oh, I'll just be a minute," and the guy's already embarrassed because, he's got to take a crap. He's got to crap his pants, it's like, man, embarrassing enough when you're there with your date at her house. It's a double date because my aunts would always go together. And you're what? You're having to crap your pants. So you can imagine this guy. Okay, I better make this fast, And then my aunts look at each other. "Oh yeah, there's no toilet paper in there." And then this guy. And then he's like, "Oh, there's something to read over here." He grabs some magazine. Gotta get that stuff out. And then what happens? It's time, the business is done. So and then you can see the guy, with his pants down to the floor, and he's looking around, looking in drawers, where the hell is this stuff? There's gotta be something, and you can see this man, everything's hanging out, his butt's in the air, and he's desperately looking in drawers. There's nothing in the drawers. Are you kidding me? There's nothing in those drawers. Anyway, finally, after some time, the guy gets some courage, okay? Get some courage. So he's like, "Excuse me!" No answer. "Excuse me! Excuse me!" No answer whatsoever. He's like starting to panic here. He's, embarrassed himself. Everybody else, my aunts, mortified. They're not gonna say anything. Guys, "Excuse me!" He finally gets a courage to open the door. Crack the door. "Excuse me, there's no toilet paper in here." Everybody pretends that they're deaf. Nobody answers. It's like, excuse me. And you can hear this guy, and I'm like 6, 7 years old, and I'm over there. I'm embarrassed for the guy, and I'm a little kid, you know, looking at my aunts, and they're mortified, you know. What do we do? I don't know. Let's just pretend nothing's happening. Let's just be normal, you know. And then he's like, excuse me. He's getting louder, the guy, but nobody answers, you know. So what's the guy gonna do? He's gonna get ingenious. So he's gonna go over. He's thinking to himself, what do you do at this point? The newspaper, the magazine that he's been reading. So, you know, this guy tears off a little piece, crumbles it up, does his business. Can throw it in the toilet or the plug. And throws it neatly in the corner. The guy made a little neat pile like a rat. He made a little pile. 1, 2, 3, 4. Washes his hand, comes out. Today, you know, having a good time. And they're over there watching TV, you know, like nothing's happened. And, you know, the two aunts, 20, 21, their boyfriends, they're all cuddling up, etc., etc. And here comes my mom. Oh, just don't say anything, she'll go away. She comes in, excuse me, who used the bathroom? I can see my aunt's just dying at this point. Oh, I'm so sorry. And you can hear him throughout the house. I was in my room. And like, yeah, this is fantastic. Like, which one of you went to the bathroom? Which one of you men? And there's 2 guys there, you know, sitting by my aunts. Which one of you went to the bathroom? And my aunts are, oh, I'm so sorry about this. Teresa, don't embarrass us. Don't tell them this. Well, one of them is a pig. One of them put their nasty napkins on the floor in there. Which one was it? Was it you? And the guy, yeah, and then he's looking around. I'm so sorry, girls. Mortified. Oh, no, it's okay, you're fine. I'm so sorry, it's her fault. Oh, Teresa, I can't believe it. And then, of course, the guy, I'm sorry, she practically grabbed his ear and pulled him over there, you know, and practically, she's like, come over here. And the guy, of course, goes over there, marches over there. She shows him like a scolding mother. You see this? You see this on the floor here? This is nasty. This is nasty behavior. We don't put toilet paper right there. That's not where the toilet paper goes. Hasn't anybody taught you anything? And he's thinking to himself, he's not going to talk back at this moment, but he's thinking to himself, yeah, toilet paper goes in the toilet, man, but this is not toilet paper. She keeps on going, toilet paper doesn't go there. Where do you think it goes? And he's looking around, there's no basket anywhere, there's no trash can. So he looks at her, and she's like, she says it as though he's supposed to know. Right here. And there's a little trap door. It's fantastic. You see, in Mexico, we are so poor that our showers, they didn't run hot water all the time. There was this contraption, this heater, and it was like an on-demand heater, but nothing like you have here in the United States. No. This thing ran on, you had to burn stuff inside of it. So usually, you would have to go to the corner store, run over there as a kid, because they'd send the kid all the time, and that was me, you know, and you'd have to buy a little kind of a log thing, and that was like $1 or $2, so that was a lot of money. That was luxury time. And you'd get this little loaf of bread, and you'd shove it in there, light a match, and you know, that thing would burn, and it would heat up the water, and there's your shower. But most of the time, people didn't have $1 in their pocket, you know what I'm saying? So what they did, most of the time was, you know, and it goes in there, and you burn it. This guy is supposed to know that you put your toilet paper inside this contraption. And so my mother opens it up. Ahiba, there it goes, right in there. And she looks at him like, this look like, aren't you educated? Don't you know these things? And the guy like, okay, I'm so sorry. And he comes back, sits down with the girlfriend, you know, my aunt, and it's like, I'm so sorry. You know, my aunt's never got to date that guy again. The other guy next to him, I know what he was thinking. I took a crap at the Denny's, you know, before we got here. that's what I hated the most. I mean, having to think as a kid constantly about how my next crap is going to be. You know, the crap would be a business. It's like, well, I have to go crap, but how bad do I have to go crap? Do I have to go crap so bad that I'm going to crap my pants? Because if so, I'm going to go crap. But if it was just a little twinging of the stomach, forget about it. It wasn't worth it. Because if it was a regular Duke on a regular day, is there some negotiation to that Duke? Is there a way that we're going somewhere? Are we getting somewhere? Are we going to the grocery store maybe? Because if we're going to the grocery store, it's grocery time, it's shopping time. I mean, seriously, at the grocery store, it's like you go in there and, freshness, it smells nice, you know, and then you sit down and it's like, oh yeah, that's fresh, that's fresh. And what do they have right there for you? They have a roll of toilet paper and insurance. They have 2 more rolls, one on top. They're under key, they're under lock, but you know, that one runs out, you just push up, more comes out, it's magical. So, you know, as a kid, you had to think, you had to decide to yourself, can I negotiate that to say over here? Can we wait a little time here? Do we have some influx here pushing down? Or can that wait for a trip to the grocery store? And the grocery store was fantastic. Somehow, I don't know, my mom wasn't shopping for toilet paper, but she came out with a lot of toilet paper. It wasn't new rolls, it was half rolls, but she always came out with plentiful toilet paper, and we didn't mind because, you know, a trip to the grocery store not only meant a good crap, but it also meant a little bit of supply extra. You know, sometimes 3 or 4 or 5 of them, if you get my drift. So, going to a friend's house, first thing you ask at the door, you know, mom comes out, there's the friend, and then first thing comes out of my mouth, can I use your bathroom? That's what I'm talking about. You know, you get to your friend's house, it's time to make the stuff come out, whether you want to or not. And that wasn't the issue with me, because I was always, you know, all stocked up so much that anytime I sat down, you know, some noise would come out, and of course the whole body knew at that point that it's go time. So I'll take advantage of it now, you know, her freight train going through. You know, now as an adult, I'm like, very first thing, we're stocking up on toilet paper. My wife says, hey, where are we getting all that toilet paper? We're stocking up, we're running low, and you know, whole garage is full of toilet paper. We're just, I have dreams about that stuff. If I'm in a grocery store, I'm thinking to myself, I really don't want to crap here. I want to crap at home, because at home, it's, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. No, you get it. At home, it's more comfortable. I mean, let's face it, people, okay? You already have your throne built and designed to what you like. And even if somebody else installed it, which they did, it's feeling good. You know, you're comfortable. Your legs are comfortable at that squat position. Every time I go somewhere, it's like, oh, hell, can't crap. You know what I'm saying? Automatic constipation. So what's the use in trying? What's the use going somewhere and going through the effort of, you know, getting into that stall? It's not going to lock. The people are underneath there, and you can see their legs and their pants next to you, and they're making all sorts of noises. And good for you, buddy, that you can do what your business is going. But, you know, you sit down, and it's like instantly, and I don't sit down, you know, let's face it, they have those covers sometimes, you know, the seat covers, and hey, I'm afraid of germs. You should be too. You know the things that can happen on the back of your, you know, your rear end right there. My uncle from Mexico, yes, my uncle got this massive fungus back there. He said it was like a foot fungus, but he had to have foot medication for his rear, you know, and he didn't get rid of it for months. And so I don't want any of that stuff, and I don't care what people are doing on the throne here. Maybe they're dancing around on there or whatever, but I don't know how you can get foot fungus on your butt when you're sitting down somewhere. So I don't sit down somewhere. I take this, I don't take it for granted, you know, I keep it holy back there. So what I do is I grab, you know, 2 or 3, but I hate that, you know, because you're trying to put these seat protectors. Who designed these things? Who came up with a seat protector? Okay, because the design is flawed. First of all, it's a circle and it's cut out, but the cutout's awful. Who did that? What kind of person leaves these kind of uncut little parts, and you tear it and it always splits? It's supposed to be a horseshoe. Okay, Okay, this is the shape that it's supposed to be. It's not. You try to tear that thing and the thing always tears in half. And if you happen to get lucky and you have this dangling horseshoe going all over the place, go ahead and try to put that on your seats and try to put it correctly. You know what I'm saying? Because that thing never goes on there. You can get one side very carefully on one side, but then the other side falls in every time it gets wet. So you have to tear off that wet side and try to somehow maneuver to keep this other sheet on place. So now you have to get another sheet over here, a seat protector. Try to tear that. It tears. Now you're dealing with the second leg. You're putting the second leg on this side. You need to put the middle part for your front and for your back. Once you've got the first layer, you've got 2 layers to go. So it's virtually impossible to get that seat coated enough so that you can see it comfortably. And then when you end up finally sitting down, what happens? One of the legs falls into the water. And so you have some water, dirty water, you know, it's going to come up and it's sneaking up there, and you're looking at it and you're thinking to yourself, oh gosh, am I going to tear that off? And is it gonna? And so you ignore it for a little while, but slowly the water starts creeping up, and you're like, gosh, you know, can I do my business before this stuff creeps all the way out? And you're sitting there, they don't give you any reading. There's nothing to read in these places. You're in a stall, you're closed in, there's nothing to read except the filth in front of you, right? This guy says something about somebody's cheeks and your mama. Second of all, have you ever tried to close the stall? I hate those stalls that you close them and they don't align. What's happened to these stalls, huh? Has somebody come in and joyride? Are they, woo, is this a little ride? Where they hang out there? Woo, I'm riding on the stall. Hey, what's going on? Why doesn't a manager come in and fix the stall door so it can lock? You know, you're sitting there trying to put the toilet paper on your seat without it falling off, balancing, and then you have to put your leg up there to keep the stall closed while you're crapping. You know, and then more toilet paper's falling in, you gotta shove some more toilet paper to protect your butt. It's a wonder that I'm paranoid constantly about going to the crapper in a public place. That's all I think about. When I go out, I think to myself, first thing, do I have to crap? And then I ask my wife the same question. Do you have to crap? She looks at me funny, and then she says no. And then I ask my kids, do any of you have to crap? And lo and behold, we're at the grocery store, shopping away, and guess what happens? They all have to go. So you're in there, now you have to put your kids on the seat, but you have to put the ring protector on there. Can you imagine putting a ring protector while a wild kid is already pulling down their pants trying to crap in the air? Just wait a minute, keep your crap in there. I'm putting the ring around the toilet, so just hold on for a second. And you're desperately, with one hand, you're holding your kid that's kicking the door, swinging on the door, doing everything on the door, and you're putting there, and they're crawling under the stall to the next stall. Hey, I'm peeking in. Come on! You finally get the kid on there, and they're like, I don't have to go anymore. Have you ever had to crap when you're camping? Who invented going to a place where there's no crapper in the first place? At least no comfortable crapper. How long is the camping trip? Because one day I can handle. One day I know I can hold that puppy in. 2 days? That's pushing it, but 3 days. 3 days I know that there is going to be a necessity, a trip to the John without question. And that trip is going to be healthy. Here are your options when you're camping. You can either use that place they call, you know, it's like a square, they call an outhouse. That place is not an outhouse, that place is an open sewer. You go in there, okay, and this is how it is. Holding that door open is next to impossible. So here's what you're doing with one leg. And then that thing is smaller on the inside than it is on the outside. It's the reverse of the TARDIS, if you watch Doctor Who. It's the reverse. You know, you go in there, and it's like, how did they make this so cramped? And the toilet paper, the toilet is this big, right here. And then the toilet paper is right next to it. And it's on a flimsy thing, so if you barely touch it, it's going to fall on the floor. And the floor is carpeted very nicely with everybody else's bodily fluids. So it's nice and aromatic in there. What you have to do, and this is what I've learned to do in the outhouse, is, do I have to urinate so badly? Well, if I have to urinate so badly, I go in, and I can hold my breath for 2 minutes. I know this, I've timed it. So you go in there, and you do, come on, and it's panic time because you know you're going to have to breathe, and if you have to breathe, if you absolutely have to breathe, if it's taking too long, that's what happens in an outhouse. Otherwise, if you have to go number 2, forget about it. Have you looked down one of these holes in there? Have you looked at this thing? I mean, how can they get so much crap into such a little place? I swear that place, that crap hole, is filled with at least a swimming pool of human excrement back there. So how do they fit that in? This thing is only the size of me, okay? It's this wide, but you look at that hole and it goes everywhere. It goes way beyond the size and scope of this outhouse. I don't know how they do it. And do they have a lid? Is there anything protecting the smells from coming out? Absolutely not. You open that, it already smells. You open that lid, which is always closed, by the way. You open that lid and, oh, you light a match in there, because this is what I do to stop the fumes. If you light a match in there, you explode. You're gone. You're in heaven. Who invented an outhouse? I'd rather just option 2 for number 2. Take my chances in the wild, you know. If you find a little log and you sit and it's very uncomfortable, that's the best option. And now, finish business. I don't know how I did it, but finish business. Well, 3 days of holding it. Anybody's going to have to. And now it's time to get original. Here's where I excel. You know how much reading material is in a campsite when you go camping? People don't use TVs. I'm over here with Shakespeare. I'm borrowing it from the next door tent, you know? It's like, can I borrow your Shakespeare? Oh yeah, I'm just gonna go on crapper. And then I return it, of course. A couple page missing, they won't notice. Nobody gets that far in Shakespeare.